Warning. Warning.
Get ready to rumble! Step into the war zone! 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 Step into the war zone!
What is going on, everybody, and welcome into the Warzone Sports Network. For Game 2, we're going to be watching Suns Nuggets. We're calling this the Broom Party because they're sold out of brooms in the greater Phoenix area today, hoping that their team gets a sweep. I am joined at the beginning of this broadcast by one of my favorite people to talk sports with, Brian Bolster. And I got a good question for you right after I find out how you're doing, brother.
Oh, I'm doing great. Can't wait to hear your question. And I think you're exactly right with the brooms.
Let's get those brooms ready. Although I am cheering for the Nuggets. If Nuggets fans are flooding in here wanting to talk about the game, I'm on your side. Let's go Joker going for 50 tonight, ladies and gentlemen. But Bolster, my question to you, are we starting to see a little bit of maybe like an MVP curse? Like if you have the MVP on your squad, you're getting like flushed out of the playoffs early? Is there any merit to my thought here?
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit at least, right? That would be, at least 3 years in a row. Then before that was Harden and Westbrook.
So Curry's the last one to really to do anything with it.
That's right. Hey, we are starting to see a curse here. I think part of it, honestly, is the fact that LeBron James hasn't been winning MVPs anymore. So you're losing one of those title contenders, and the MVP is coming from a new player on the scene, right? Which is going to make it a little bit harder to cash in on that championship. But I wouldn't go so far to say curse, although I would give a little bit more credence with the Giannis side of that because they were seen to be a favorite. The Nuggets were never seen as a favorite this year, but I think part of that, and I think you'll probably agree with me, but I'm interested in what you think. Part of it is that to win that championship, you can't have a one-man show. You almost, in today's game, I won't necessarily say super team, but in terms of scoring options, that number two guy has to be towards 25 points per game, and we haven't seen that with any of those last five guys that we've mentioned. So I think that plays into it. What do you think?
No, I agree with you. And here's the thing is that there's like a fine balance because you can't have another guy that can steal MVP votes from you, but you also need that guy to almost be sort of like on the cusp of the MVP conversation. And if he's not, you're not likely. Because if you think back, I think Kobe won it in like 08 or 09 or at some point in there, right? But Kobe had Gasol on that team, who was not an MVP, but he was a top 25 player at that time, at least top 25. So it's like you have to have that guy with you. We're going to get this scoreboard cranking up. The game just tipped off. Nuggets win the tip. And it's going wild in Denver. Rocky Mountain High. Nick Mack joining us. How you feeling about this game and just in general?
I'm feeling good in general, and I'm feeling a Phoenix sweep tonight.
Oh, my. All this Phoenix love. I cannot wait. And I would just like anybody new to the chat, please join me in some overrated chants when Devin Booker touches the ball. I would appreciate
What? That is blasphemous.
It is, but don't care.
I'm taking him over your boy Playoff Donnie any day.
Oh, stop it.
Any day.
Yep.
Any day.
Yep.
You don't mean that with a straight face.
Yes, I do.
Nuggets on pace to win this game, up 2-0. Let's go, Nuggets!
I don't know, man. Donovan Mitchell, he's got to go for 30-plus for them to win. Booker, he scored 20 points or so in multiple wins for the Suns. So I'm not saying that Booker is definitely not better, but his role is such that He doesn't have to do as much. Okay, hey,
I
it's first
saw
quarter.
that wide open 3 from the corner.
Wide open. Listen, I just whatever.
Everybody knows, and if you don't know, I'm a Lakers fan, and I am extremely bitter about how the Suns treated the Lakers in the first round of the playoffs. So as far as I'm concerned, I hope anybody runs through the Suns. I don't care who it is.
Yeah, there's an interesting. Go ahead, Nick.
No, sorry. That's kind of how I feel about the Clippers. I just hope anybody runs through the Clippers because of what they did to my Mavericks. So yeah. I get you, Tony. It's just overrated's a little much when it comes to Devin Booker.
Here's a bad sign to start this game. I don't want to see the desperate Phoenix Suns diving for loose balls on the floor. I want to see the loose balls going to the Nuggets. I want to see them on the ground. And instead, I'm seeing 2 Suns players diving for loose balls in the first 3 minutes of the game.
Yeah, they've wanted it going out playing hard. Yeah, they right away. Like you said, getting on the floor. The block of Michael Porter Jr. They look ready to close this out. They do. They look ready to close this out. They look like a team that's been there.
They've wanted it more this entire series.
No doubt.
They've just on both ends of the floor. And it's tough, man. It's tough for your best player to put up 30, 20, and 10 and not get the dub. And not only not get the dub, but just get ran out of the gym.
Yeah, that's the thing, Nick. Like, it wasn't close.
Yeah, but he puts up historic numbers. You know what I mean? 30, 20, and 10.
Around.
Yeah.
Hey, so here's I guess the kind of barometer for is Devin Booker overrated? You know, Hoops Nation, pretty big social media account, ranked Devin Booker as the 4th best player under 25 years old. Is that too high, too low, just right? I think it's just right. I'll put it right at just right. Maybe he could bump down to 5th, but I think he's either 4th or 5th.
I'd say that. I'd say that ahead of him right now, I'd probably have Luka, obviously, Tatum, and
just say it.
Was the other one Zion?
The other one is Zion, but they were wrong. But say
they're not wrong.
Should be a number. Okay, so
they're
Zion.
Not wrong. Yeah.
Have you seen pictures of Zion? He's on vacation.
Good.
And
I mean,
and will be on vacation for the foreseeable future. Like, he's not making the playoffs next year. So then that's a whole nother calendar year that we have of everybody telling me that Giannis, I'm Freudian slip.
You're already hating on Giannis.
I'm hating on all these guys that you put at the top of lists and never get it done in the postseason. That's what I'm saying is like, if you're that guy, then we need to see it at the next level. I'm not saying Zion won't get to that level, but right now, when we have Ja going off in the playoffs and in a play-in game against the Warriors on a big stage going nuts, you can remove the headphones. Just let it sink in through osmosis. Zion should not be 3. Donovan Mitchell is better. Like, he should be at 3, Booker at 4, and then Ja or Trae Young, I'll give you at 5.
I mean, do I have to say that not only coming into the NBA draft, which I understand has limited value, Zion was seen as by far the best prospect. Number 2, he's the youngest guy on this list. He's 20 years old. And number 3, he had the much better season than Devin Booker or Donovan Mitchell had. And Jason Tatum. He had a much better season than Jason Tatum, too.
All that efficiency around the rim. It gets a lot of W's. Like, that's the thing is like, yes, even Giannis is winning MVPs, doing the same exact thing, but how does it translate into winning games on the next level? That's my problem is that, like, there's been lots of guys that can dominate in the regular season. Does it translate into wins in the postseason?
See, I'm with you there. Like, I get where you're coming from. However, has Mitchell done anything? No. Has Booker done anything? No. Has Luka? If we're holding them to that standard of winning in the playoffs, no, none of these guys have. I mean, honestly, you'd have to say Jason Tatum has the most. But Zion is 20 years old and just had arguably one of the best. You have to go back decades to find a second season better than Zion Williamson. Like, you got to go back to Kareem other than that, I mean, Michael Jordan probably, and this is a better second season than LeBron James had, so you probably have to go back to Michael Jordan.
Okay. And just for the record, Tatum would be at the top of my list too.
All right, I get that.
Oh my God. Okay.
Okay,
Sorry about
here's
that,
the
guys.
question,
I'm back.
Tony. Here's the question, Tony. Where would you have Luka? Because
my
ahead.
list would go Tatum, then Luka, then Donovan Mitchell, then Devin Booker. I joke. Devin Booker really is a very good player in the NBA, and I do believe offensively he can carry your team. Now, he does need somebody like CP3 to orchestrate. He's been getting a lot of credit for his like dishing ability or whatever it is. But if you go back and watch games 2 and 3 when CP3's banged up, he's not very efficient in game 2. He gets a bunch of cheap foul calls at the end so that the stat line looks better in game 2. And in game 3, he wasn't very great. But CP3 gets better with that extended break in game 4. And he has a good game. So what I'm saying is I think the two things are tied together a little bit, but Devin Booker is still the best player on the team. It's the same thing I say about the Lakers. Anthony Davis is the best player currently when healthy on the Los Angeles Lakers. He's not the most important or valuable to make the machine run.
That's where I agree with you, Tony. Like, as far as Devin Booker, he's limited in terms of his creation, and particularly for others. And even for himself, if we're looking at this list, he, in my opinion, would be a lesser version of Jason Tatum. They're very similar. They don't necessarily create for others at a high level. He's just shorter, less athletic version of Jason Tatum. And that's a very kind of narrow way of looking at this. But to me, that's the advantage that a Donovan Mitchell would have over him. That's the advantage that even a Trae Young would have, or Ja Morant, if you're looking down the line. Now, I think you would have to project to say that one of those guys are going to be better. But Zion, I actually think, is a little underrated in that aspect. I think he's an underrated passer. He's an underrated shot creator. But don't get me wrong. I'm with you, Tony. We've talked about this, that for Zion to truly be that number one, to have especially deep playoff success, he is going to have to be able to shoot the ball better.
He's also going to have to find a different coach than Stan Van Gundy.
100% with you. They just signed Steven Adams to like big money last year. That was like a move out of 1997 right there. But one last thing for Zion, if you're looking for hope, he very much improved his free throw shooting.
Yeah.
Right. So I do think that's a step in the right direction, can make you start to feel good.
What's going on,
the thing about what's up, man? How are you?
I just had to say what's up real quick. Go ahead, continue, bro. Go ahead, Mac.
So I was trying to take a shot at Stan Van Gundy because I just think that Stan Van Gundy is not the guy you want coaching Zion early on in his career. I know it worked out with Dwight, 10 years ago? Is that when? What year was it that the Magic went to the finals with Stan Van Gundy and Dwight?
2008, 2009.
Yeah.
2009.
More than
Lakers,
10 years ago.
I remember that one. Yeah. Lakers and
Kobe. And ever since then, Stan Van Gundy has just been.
Just to bang on that. Just to go on that a little bit more, like their team is literally the worst constructed team like in the whole league.
Yep.
It's terrible. Nothing fits accordingly. Like you have this shot creator and Brandon Ingram, and then like they try to bring shooting with JJ Redick, and then they get rid of him. They have this ancient of a center and Steven Adams where all he does is set hard picks and like can't shoot. That's like the worst fit next to Zion. Like, why wouldn't you just get a big that can shoot? It makes no sense. The floor spacing is just terrible in New Orleans. So bad.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. And and for Lonzo and the play style of Lonzo Ball, that ain't
not
it
to mention him too.
And now you got Josh Hart coming out that saying he wants a new start with a different team. Listen, he's not somebody that's gonna pack the stat sheet, but Josh Hart's impact on defense was huge for New Orleans. And I know that's not saying a lot because the rest of the team was so bad on the defensive end. Yeah. But Josh Hart was definitely a spark plug for them. And he'll be a nice little addition for somebody if they can pick him up in a trade.
Yeah. And I think that'll be the one negative I'll put on Zion, if anything. I mean, yeah, he has room to improve in all aspects of his game, obviously, because how young he is. But on defense, as athletic as he is, he should be a lot better on defense. But he's still young, give him some time. But that would be the one negative. Like, okay, I can understand that. What people see.
When Zion looked best was towards like the second half of the season and even the second half of the second half of the season, the last quarter of the season. They had him running that hybrid position of point forward, and he really looked dominant from that position.
That's what I'm saying, Nick. He's an underrated distributor. Like, he really can run that role. But I'm completely with you, man, when you say that the defense has to be picked up if Zion wants to be a true superstar, and particularly we're talking about roster fit. Well, it's going to be tough to fit somebody besides a point forward when he's not good at defense, right? Because you want to put a shooting big man who, 99 times out of 100 aren't going to be good at defense. So then you bring in a defensive guy. Well, he can't shoot, and it's kind of you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. I actually do think Lonzo's a pretty good fit, but that means you have to have other shooters. So it's tough. I mean, I could go ahead and I don't think this is bold. Don't expect Zion to be a lifer in New Orleans. It's just not going to happen. He's going to have his great 5-6 years, and like Tony leading the party is going to be like Zion can't get it done after year 6. Oh, he's not that level of player. And you know what? Zion is going to leave. It's going to be the Lakers, hopefully.
I mean,
just to put it,
let Zion end up on the Lakers. Let Zion end up on the Lakers, and I will never shut up about how amazing he is. Never.
Listen, I'm a diehard Duke fan, man, and I've actually been paying attention. He was a freak in high school. This dude was winning college dunk contests in high school.
Oh yeah, one of my friends is like a nerd of like the recruiting, high school basketball recruiting. He showed me Zion at a party, and I was like, thank you. First of all, thank you for saving me from the snooze fest. But I was like watching Zion as like a sophomore. I'm like, this kid's going to be a monster. And the thing is, I want to reiterate this, people. He is going to be a monster. But currently, if you ask me right now of the players on that list that I would have, he's not that high. What he will be could be greater than all of them. But what he is now is not greater than the people that he's ahead of, in my opinion.
I would say this too, though. I mean, it's just crazy the fact that if you look at Zion's game, there's nothing really like in particular, like as far as like a go-to move that he has. It's really similar to Giannis, where he just uses his athleticism and pure raw strength. And it's insane to me on how young this guy is and how undeveloped his skill set is. And he walked into the NBA averaging like 20 plus points. Like, that's amazing to me. Like, there's just so much room for growth.
Before he was drafted, Colin Cowherd jumped on his show and was like, Zion's a top 20 player in the NBA. I'm like, he hasn't even dribbled a ball in the NBA yet.
I know.
Cowherd's like, top 20 player in the NBA.
I know.
He probably will be, but could we let the kid, like, wear a game, like, not blow out a shoe in an NBA game, people? What the...
Would you say he's top 20 now?
Tony.
Would you say he's top 20 now? Because I would. I think he's top 20 now.
Yeah, I'd have to go.
I mean, like my man said, he can sleepwalk his way to 25 points. Like, he's one of the more unstoppable scorers. Because, like he said, it's not like he needs a good shooting night. He just bully balls you. I would say he has his go-to thing is right shoulder in your chest. Yeah. That's his go-to move.
Or missing a layup and getting the putback.
That's what Tony loves. That's what Tony loves. The second jump. You're right.
Yeah,
man.
the second jump is crazy.
It's not just about the points and the rebounds. His efficiency was insane this season. Insane, like historic level efficiency.
Have you seen his layup shot chart? It's very impressive. Him and Rudy Gobert are
no.
They're insane next to the rim. No. 6'8" guys can make it from 2 feet away.
I think we need to go more like to the level of like Ben Simmons. Like, Ben Simmons' shot chart is all in the paint.
Hey, Zion shoots it better than both of those guys. Come on,
Tony,
you got to quit doing that, man.
All right,
you just getting the blood's boiling, man. Rudy Gobert can't even catch. Get out of here.
He can't. Last night there was a couple of nights where I'm screaming at the TV. Oh, it's insane.
Yeah, I'm gonna be upset if the Clippers come back from 0-2 again.
I'm not gonna be happy about
Come on,
that.
man.
I'm not gonna be
Ben
happy
Simmons.
about that. No, Ben Simmons, that's close, but no, he wasn't.
He was robbed.
I think the thing is, it's one thing to be bad at shooting, like Giannis, but you have to give props to the guys like that because at least they attempt the three. Ben Simmons doesn't even attempt to shoot a 3-point shot. It freaking infuriates me, bro. The fact that dude just doesn't even attempt to take them. Like, just take them 1 or 2 a game. What's gonna hurt you, bro?
I agree.
It's unbelievable.
I want to see guys fail on the biggest stage. That's my thing. Like
he need.
No, hang on, you guys. I'm actually being serious when I say this. Give me my camera back, Joe. I had to switch. I'm trying to do too many things at the same time. Now I'm freezing. What the people? Is my camera back on me, and I'm not even here to represent properly?
You're good, man. I can hear you. I can see you.
When I say I want to see people fail on the biggest stage, it's like in a game, I want to see Giannis taking threes in the regular season. I want to see him taking the last second shot because then when you get to the playoffs, you need to have the experience of what that moment feels like, the weight of that situation, and trying to succeed there. So I want to see Ben Simmons. I don't care if he shoots 3 air balls in a regular season game in Indiana on a Wednesday night. Bro, start jacking up shots. Get comfortable with the idea that you might look like a jerk on the biggest stage. That's the part of success is people want success without failure. That's not how life works. You have to fail a little bit to get to the ultimate level of success that you want. I want to see more of that from Ben Simmons. That's all. Joe, thank you for this close-up. I look like a child when it's shaved.
Tony, I think you're exactly right. I think the greatest example is rookie Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant with 4 air balls in the playoff game. Like, to me, that's the greatest example. And I think it's getting at what you're hinting towards is that shows the mentality that I want to succeed so bad that I'm willing to fail. And you're exactly right. A lot of times people want the success without the failure, but you'll never really truly achieve your level of success without being willing to fail. And I think that keeps a lot of people from the success that they have the potential for.
Yeah. I fail 3 nights a week on the show. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I host live shows trying to get better at being in front of a microphone and talking to you lovely folks on camera. And I'm not afraid to get up and look like an ass. Maybe put some jokes out there that don't land. 65% of them aren't landing. I'm shooting free throws like Giannis out here. Like I can't make anything. But I'm going to keep firing them.
That's better than Giannis. That's still
better percentage there. But look, I mean, back on the mentality part, like you just know that Ben Simmons mentally it messes with him because I don't know if you guys heard this report that came out probably like a season ago where the coach called him out on trying to take more 3-pointers. It was Brett Brown and it was in film room and everyone got awkwardly silent in the room, including Ben Simmons. Like no one even said anything. The next game winded up just not shooting the ball at all. Like I think he had close to only 4 or 5 shot attempts. So that just goes to show you how much it actually bothers him. Like it's a mental thing with him. It's at this point, it's not a skill thing. And
it has to also bother him that you flip open any preview for a Sixers playoff game right now, and you're getting are they gonna implement the Hack-a-Simmons strategy?
Yeah.
Hack-a-Simmons, it's Hack-a-Simmons season. And he knows that they don't have a problem with sending him to the line and that after a while that is all mental.
Yeah.
So I definitely get what you're saying with that for sure. Yeah, one thing I want to point out. By the way, what's up, Joe Skirdo? How the hell are you doing?
Yo, what's going on, guys? I don't have Wi-Fi, but I'm in a lobby right now, so I figured I'd hop on since I've been MIA for these last 2 weeks. So happy to see your faces. Juan, what's going on, man?
What's
Good
going
to
on,
see
Skirdo?
you, brother? Yo, one thing I want to address about the Phoenix Suns And I know everybody wants to talk about CP3 and Devin Booker, and they've been great. But DeAndre Ayton on both sides of the ball, I think the most impressive thing has been his consistency and the success on both ends of the court. This dude is balling out.
Oh, my goodness.
I'll be one of the first ones to admit that I was wrong, because going into the Lakers series, I said that was one of the big key matchups to that Ayton and Anthony Davis aspect. Like, DeAndre Ayton had to be a grown ass man. Like, he had to grow up, put the big boy pants on, and start to learn how to play some playoff basketball. And you know what, bro? Yeah, he's been freaking doing it. Look, any person that's watching this that's like at the age of 14, 12, whatever the case is, you're a young man trying to play basketball and you want to play center and you're tall, watch DeAndre Ayton, because he is the epitome on how to play basketball as a big man in today's NBA. And that's just facts. You want to play like him, be able to shoot a little bit, set good screens, rebound the ball, have good hands. Like, he's
make good decisions with the ball. Like when he gets the ball in the high post, he doesn't force the bad pass like you see a lot of these bigs do when they get the ball in the high post. You know, he makes the smart decisions. He's okay with just handing it off, to the guards.
Yeah. This is how modern day big is supposed to be.
Yeah, exactly. Embiid is actually good at that too. Of course, Jokic, one of the probably the best playmaking center in the league, but it's a very few. And DeAndre Ayton is starting to prove that he is, in the upper echelon of centers at a young age. Maybe starting to not make it look like such a bad thing. They took him number 1 overall.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I would say this though. I mean, I don't think he's on anywhere close to those guys' level. Just putting some more respect on like Embiid and Jokic, because I do think like Embiid is kind of like a dying breed on what he can do. Like, the post up game that is just ancient in today's game. And then Jokic, he's just unique. Like, we never really seen anyone besides like Sabonis, old Sabonis, not today's Sabonis. Arvydas that can do the stuff that he does. But DeAndre Ayton, like, he's not great at anything. He's just really good all around the board. He really is. He's just solid.
No, I know what you're saying. I'm not putting him on the same level as Embiid and Jokic.
Okay, good. I thought there was some confusion here because Joel Embiid is Shaquille O'Neal when he's healthy, but he can shoot free throws and shoot the three. Like, he dominates anybody in the post.
Would you put Ayton in your top 8 centers in the league?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Yes.
There's not many.
Yeah.
Top
There's
5
not a lot of
centers
good
in the league?
centers. Yes,
I'm one of the best 8-looking fathers at my kids' elementary school too. It's not a fucking deep pool. It doesn't matter.
Ayton's honestly a lot more athletic too.
I'm not saying he's the same as Embiid and Jokic, but he's a top 5 center in the league.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I think he's definitely a top 5 center. And like I was saying, like, I think he's a lot more athletic than you think for like a big, lanky guy. Like, he can move. I mean, he was the first overall for a reason, but I think he's proven it. His coming out party. Randy Pepperton, what's going on? Nice to see you. Appreciate the kind welcome back comments. Love it.
We love you, Randy.
Pepperton in the house. Okay, this quarter's about to wrap up. It's closer than it should be, right? Yeah. But it's just I'm frustrated. We're about to go to commercial break. I want to ask you guys a question because I've been watching these games. I have the greatest wife in the world, and she will sit down and watch NBA basketball with me, and it's amazing. And she's like, Chris Paul is the dirtiest player in the NBA. But then I go online, and everybody's like, oh, Chris Paul, like we really want him to win. He's such a nice guy. What a swell fellow. Like, is anybody else on the same wavelength, or is this just 2 Laker fans growing old and they're lazy boys?
It's savvy. It's savviness. That's what it is. It's savvy.
I'm sorry, man, but if you love basketball, a little piece of you is rooting for Chris Paul to win the title this year.
Yes. Yeah.
That's just what it is.
My thing is, like, you can call him point guard when he wins a championship. I might be a little too tough right now, but
speak on it.
Yes, he he doesn't have the point guard resume yet. He hasn't won anything, and he's played for very, very good teams. So if he can win as a role player this late in his career, especially with the Suns, I will definitely give him that point guard status. But right now, we got to hold on to the brakes. I think he's savvy as well. I don't think he's dirty. I mean, I'm rooting for him. It'd be great for the game, but
I think he earns that title even if he gets this team to the
no
finals.
way, no shot. He needs to win.
It's just tough. It's tough to look
Winning
at
is
it. It's
everything.
tough.
Joe,
It
please
is.
leave this meme up.
He's just had look. I just want to say this about Chris Paul. He's probably had the absolute worst. As Tony or Joe puts up that picture. Shout out to Joe for the
Joe,
for the
Joe,
pictures
put
up
it back
there.
up. The people want the picture. They don't want to know how to subscribe to us. People
Oh
came for
man!
They love your
But look,
game.
he's had the worst luck. I know that, like for a player, bro. Like if you just look back in history, just the really good teams that he was on, like the Clipper teams, or even like the Houston Rockets year. Like they were one game away from making it to the NBA Finals, and if it wasn't for him getting hurt, I wouldn't say that it was a for sure win because you can never say that it's Game 7. Anything can happen, but it would have been a lot different if he would have played.
They were
because he was
winning
the
in
key
game
to that.
6. I think they were winning in Game 6 when he got injured, right? Like, wasn't
Yeah.
Yes.
They
yeah,
were,
so they
yeah.
were about
Yes.
to close that series out.
And then
against
the Rockets
Warriors.
wound up shooting like an
Right. Oh my
abysmal
God.
percentage from 3-point.
Well, like 3 for 30 or something crazy.
Yeah, shout out to
man,
Mike
it's terrible.
D'Antoni. You live by the 3, you die by the 3.
Well, yeah, James Harden's legs are rubber at the end of the season because his usage is,
Through the
what?
roof.
Yeah.
It's kind of what happened
291.
with Luka. By Game 7, he just burnt out because his usage rate was through the roof because everybody
Or
else
like the
around him
Knicks
was
with
trash.
Tom Thibodeau. Tom Thibodeau's the master at that. Don't play for Tom Thibodeau, kids.
Hey, Nick
He will
Mack,
he will
he's,
play you down to the ground.
He's only 22, right? Like he should
Yeah.
be in a little better shape. I mean,
But
just
I don't
asking.
know.
I'm just asking. I'm
He
just
also
saying,
he
like,
also sustained this nearly the same injury Chris Paul did, which the nerve to neck to shoulder.
yeah.
This, you know what I'm saying? Like he just, I don't know. He was carrying them the entire playoffs, man. Like I expected him to break down.
Listen, I did not have them making that series that competitive. I had the Clippers.
No, me
in
neither.
6,
And I'm a Mavs
I
fan.
really thought it was like more like Clippers in 5. But the way he played was absolutely amazing. And I agree with you. He just ran out of gas in games 6 and 7 in that series. He's like,
Yeah.
guys, I can't do this. Could somebody else outshoot Reggie Jackson for crying out loud?
You know what though?
So true.
I get what you guys are saying. Like he ran out of gas, and like that's fair. And I don't want to say this because I think like he has a team around him. Like I completely agree with you, Nick. Like he doesn't have a squad by him.
No.
Like it's all him. But I would say this. Another thing to elevate his game and be a better player is like picking your spots during the game, learning how to, control the game. Like even if you throw it in football aspects, like a Tom Brady, like some players just know, like LeBron, MJ, all these players just know when to turn it on and really know how to pick their spots. And maybe that's the next step for Luka. Because if you notice, like the first quarter, he comes out, he's balling. But like
Right.
sometimes you probably just got to know when to pick your spots. Like, you know what, right now, let me get my teammates involved, even though they're trash. But let's see, like, because it's hard. Because you can argue it on the other way and be like, well, if he doesn't score all those points in the first quarter, we're down by like 15 at the end of the half. It's hard. But I would say he does need to learn how to pick his spots.
Well, not only that, but he also, you kind of alluded to it, is he needs to get his teammates more involved
Oh,
more consistently.
Yeah.
More consistently. Tony's shaking his head because JaVale McGee can't hit free throws.
Dale McGee's winded. Bro, you haven't played in 2 months. Like,
Bro,
you ran
I'm
up and down the
convinced-
court twice.
Here's one last point I want to make about the Mavericks, and I'll continue to make this point, is that KP and Tim Hardaway Jr., who are supposed to be Luka's, number 2 options, right?
Yeah.
Are not even a 3rd or 4th option on the rest of the teams left in the playoffs. Let's be realistic here. Like,
I mean, Finney Smith was like his best guy.
Tim Hardaway Jr. had a couple of games where he looked like he was going to be the number
Or
2
should
guy.
Yeah,
for the
should I
rest
say
of the playoffs.
consistent?
Yeah, I mean, and then KP averaging 13 and 5 as
That's
a
abysmal.
7-footer.
Terrible.
Oh my God.
He's Kyle
But-
Kuzma. He's Kyle Kuzma, but 7 foot.
But look at Jazz. He's a
KP
third
is.
option, or maybe even look at the Hawks. He's a third option on that team. Look, the Suns. He's a fourth option on the Suns.
And I love how he gets so mad and frustrated that he's like not more of a vocal point. It's like, bro, come on. Like, you're not that good anymore, bro. Like, I don't know if it's the injury or what, but like you said, you're fourth option, my guy.
I saw a mock trade yesterday between the Celtics and the Mavericks. It was the 16th overall pick and Kemba for Kristaps. And I was like,
Thank
what?
you. No,
thank you. No, thank you here for Celtics, man. Like Kemba and a 16th just for KP. I'm set. I mean, both of those guys are just done.
You want to set I would take Marcus Smart in a trade over Kemba, no doubt, in my mind.
I know. I mean, in terms of a player, I think you'd get more production out of Kemba if he's healthy. I mean, Kristaps is a wash. He's healthy or yeah. I mean, same with Kristaps though, and he still stinks when he's healthy. So
I mean, I'm kind of curious. But whose contract is more? Is it Kemba or KP? Because if Kemba's contract is more, I'm not touching Kemba. That contract is ridiculous. It's like a John Wall contract. It's just
that's a good question.
Way too much.
KP is on a max contract.
I want to say Kemba, and I mean,
is Kemba
I want
on
nothing
max
to do with
contract?
Kemba. Oh yeah,
Joe.
dude, he got paid.
Oh, it's terrible. It's one of the worst in the league.
He got
this
paid.
is low key, Morley. That was a great meme that you just put on. Low key, like this is hilarious. This is what they're doing. And the Suns are just gonna reset the game.
Oh my God. Ugh.
This is how rage kids. You think rage quitting was quit? It was in your generation? No, hell no. When that son used to come down and snipe me as Mario, I used to smash that power button on the Nintendo.
Kemba Walker's contract is 4
140.
years, $140 million.
Kristaps is 5 for 158. So those are just terrible.
Yeah, KP's is awful.
Yeah, that's awful.
Awful, man. And what happened to him? He was an absolute star in New York. I don't get it. Once they made that trade, everyone's like, it's all over. Like Kristaps, Luka, that's the future for Mark Cuban and the Mavs, and it just hasn't gone that way.
Do you know what they say about the big man, and especially a guy like Porzingis? It's like their legs, bro. They get destroyed in basketball, and it's like once you got that knee injury, big guys just don't really come back the same. Like he doesn't really have any jump ability or explosiveness that he didn't already have with the Knicks that much. So as that injury went on,
he was a serious interior presence with the Knicks. He was a shot blocker. He was a rebounder. He was a scorer. He actually had an offensive post move. If you looked at him this past series, he couldn't make a move past Reggie Jackson, who he's got a foot on.
It's the explosiveness.
I mean, I'm serious. And I don't get it with the big men in the NBA. You see 3 players that are 7-footers or even 6'8" and above that get the ball in the post, and then they bring it below their waist before they make their move to the basket, giving the defenders an opportunity to strip it away every single time. But there's 3 players that don't do that.
Reggie Jackson looks pretty intimidating, like Wesley Snipes and Blade out there with those glasses on. I mean, I'm not trying to make those moves.
I tweeted the other night. I love how Bobby Schmurder makes so many big shots for the Clippers. That's who Reggie Jackson is.
That's a good one. I was going to say Stonka from Cool Runnings without the dreads, but
come on, Clippers! It's bobsled time.
No, but you know what I mean. And he's just not that interior presence anymore. He ends up below the foul line, whether on defense or offense. He ends up below the foul line on accident. He has no idea how to play either end of the floor below the foul line.
Everybody, Reggie Jackson heating up for the Clippers in this postseason.
I remember he made a back cut for a dunk in Game 6, and I was like, "Oh my God, KP made a back cut for a dunk!" That never what the hell? We're getting old KP back, and then no. Nope.
Yeah, it's just not in spurts. That's the real issue with whatever it is. But we were talking about big contracts. Could we borrow a little money, Michael Porter Jr., so we could buy a bucket in this game? Like the Suns are up 9, and Michael Porter Jr. cannot make a shot to save his life. Like this is the guy that's supposed to be the number 2. This is the one argument when you talk about the Mavs. Like I think on the Nuggets. Like who's next to the Joker in this? Like they got JaMychal Green, Austin Couch Rivers, and JaVale McGee. Like what the?
Hey, don't forget about Bobo now. All right, they got a little bit of stock.
Don't sleep on
Bobo.
Campazzo, all right? As he knocks
Campazzo
down
either.
a 3. As he knocks down a 3.
The young rookie.
Listen, dude, Cam Johnson looks like he's playing this game. This on
The
easy
fact that the
on
Nuggets
NBA
got this
2K
far
easy.
without Jamal Murray there to take some of the pressure off
It's a win.
Michael Porter Jr. is insane. Like I cannot believe. Actually, in the regular season, they had a higher win percentage without Jamal Murray than they did with him, and then they made it the second round without him. I'm actually shocked because they are not built for a run without Jamal Murray.
Well, yeah, but that's also like more reason as to why the Blazers need to end the
Blow it up.
experiment
Blow
of
it up.
CJ and
Oh, yeah.
Dame.
Blow
And,
it
and
up.
since they're not going to get somebody to come play with CJ in a city that's on fire, then they need to get as much as they can for Dame now. Like they need to try and pillage young talent from some of these other teams and bring them to Portland.
Well, look, I'm just gonna say this. There's two things with the Nuggets. The number one of the biggest mistakes that they made this season. There was a point in time. There was a report that came out that they had a trade on the table to get James Harden, and the whole reason why they didn't do the trade for James Harden was because they didn't want to give up Jamal Murray. And I know, like, if you talk to a Nuggets fan, they'll probably be like, no, we like Murray better. I'm sorry. I feel like you got to make that trade. You have to make that move. James Harden in a high pick and roll with Joker, that's unbelievable. Like, you need that star power. You need that guy with Jokic. Like, that's the number one thing. Number two, they went the route that, not trading for a guy like Harden because they had all this young talent. Like, they got rid of Jeremy Grant, Tony Craig, like a bunch of these guys that were on their team, and they didn't get anything for them. Like, they just winded up hitting the lottery with Michael Porter Jr. Like, they honestly got lucky with that pick. He was like the 14th pick, barely a lottery. And it's just like they wind up paying guys like Gary Harris, who's only a defensive guard. He can't make a shot for his life. It's just like, it's terrible. Like, it's just so many mistakes from the Nuggets. And it's like what Nick Mack said, though. Like, it's a win to get this far without Jamal Murray. Like, it's a miracle.
Yeah, you got the
I wouldn't say
MVP,
it's a
you're
miracle because they. Sorry, Tony, go ahead.
You're getting swept with the MVP on your team. Like,
Hey, Dirk. I mean, sorry for the Mavs.
Thanks,
but
man.
There was a point in time where Dirk was MVP and had a bad showing with his team in the playoffs. This has happened before.
Lost to the 8. Let's talk about it.
for
Lost
my
to the 8.
European Caucasian friends watching, just not
Baron
good.
Davis.
Not a good stat to reference right there.
Lost to Baron Davis and Steven Jackson and.
Hey man, hashtag We Believe team, man.
Oh man, that team was fun to watch. No matter how
It was
bad
fun.
they beat our
They
ass.
were fun.
Baron Davis dunking on Andre Karolinko is still one of my most favorite poster dunks of all time.
Oh my goodness.
This Suns team, they're just like they're relentless. They
They're not
don't
even playing
slow
good
down.
right now.
Their
They're
first
up 7 with 7 to play in the second quarter, Nick, and they're not even playing good, and they're dominating this game.
well, and that's the thing. Like they don't have like a gear to slow down. They just keep going no matter first team, second team, third team even. They're just anybody they put out there is hustling on both ends of the floor, and they have wanted it more this entire series. They wanted it more than the first round. I can't wait to see the Western Conference Finals featuring the Phoenix Suns, man. This team has been the most fun team to watch, in my opinion, this entire playoffs.
Oh, for sure. I mean,
so complete. Yeah.
Thank you, Joe.
That one's just for Tony Tucker. But what I'm saying is,
Yes.
even both ends of the floor, even Cam Payne coming off the bench and when CP3 needs a rest has been incredible. Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges, they've all been incredible in their roles. Torrey Craig on both ends of the floor, unsung hero.
They're definitely the most complete team. Like, they remind, like, the energy reminds me almost like a college team, if that doesn't sound weird. Like, they're, like you said, they never get gassed. I remember watching, I think it was game 2. I mean, they went on this run that was crazy. Like, Saric is banging threes, like everything up and down the court, just purely dominating. I mean, I definitely think they're the most complete team. Maybe it's kind of what you guys were talking about earlier. In terms of complete, having that super team, but up and down, I think they are the most complete for sure.
Okay, Devin Booker just took a little flick to the eye, and he's no Covington from the Bucks. I don't see any blood. I don't see any stitches happening right here, but he gets the call. Can we talk about this for a moment, fellas? The fact that the Suns get AD banged up, and LeBron coming back from injury, trying to turn it on at age 36. That's not the best scenario. Now they get a Nuggets team without their point guard, which in my estimation is not that big of a loss, but that's a pretty good hand to be dealt to you if you're trying to make a run to the NBA Finals.
Now, can I say this to you? Would you be saying the same thing about the Lakers having an easy path to the finals if they were in the second round playing the Nuggets?
Hell yes, I would be saying that.
It's all gonna fit in someone's narrative.
If the Lakers would have won the first series and Chris Paul's shoulder kept him out, you think that I would have come here and not given a little credence to the fact that they won because of Chris Paul? Like,
I mean, I'm not one to ever discredit teams like that though, because the Nuggets are in the second round of the playoffs for a reason. You know what I mean?
Sure.
They've played that well enough to get here. Like. So.
No, I get that, but that's not what I'm saying is. What I'm saying is everybody, before I had nonstop conversations, when I was still doing shows as Project Dribble, I was defending the Suns and the Jazz all season long. I'm getting no backup on the Jazz whatsoever, but everybody's in love with the Phoenix Suns all of a sudden over the last, like, maybe 14 days, and I'm just sick of it. Like, where was all of this love throughout the regular season when I was saying Chris Paul was the MVP and everybody's like, hey, Project Dribble, he's a nonsense asshole. And now all of a sudden the Suns are unstoppable? What are we talking about? They beat a Lakers team without Anthony Davis and now Jamal Murray. That's all I'm saying. Yes, thank you, Joe. That is exactly how I feel. Like,
I'm just gonna say this though. I feel you, Tony, with the whole Suns thing. We were not one of those shows personally. When we did like our top 10 like rankings before the season even started, we had the Suns. Like, we just figured like winning follows Chris Paul everywhere. Like, this is a guy who brought the Thunder to the playoffs. Look at them right now. It's like, so
insane.
Yeah, so I would say that I think a really good question for the Suns is like, what's the scenario when they lose? Like, how do you honestly beat them? If you were coaching against them or playing against them, what would be the game plan? And I would start first and say you had to get Devin Booker to use way more energy and effort on defense. You cannot let this dude just stand in the corner and guard a corner shooter. You got to put him in action. You have to put him in some screens, like get him moving and spend some energy on both sides of the ball.
Hey,
like,
we have a breaking news. Somebody started a GoFundMe and bought a bucket for Michael Porter Jr. We got a man one, ladies and gentlemen. What the? Oh my goodness!
But yeah, like what? Funny. Like, what's the scenario? Like, how do you beat these guys?
Yeah, you know what? And you're on to something there. You have to make Devin Booker tired. Yeah, of course, you have to slow this team down. You have to slow this team down. I think you have to let Devin Booker eat on the offensive side. Let him do what he's going to do. But you got to slow down these other guys. Bridges, Johnson, Jay Crowder.
That's right, Monty. Call that T. We're going nuts in Mile High City over here.
Don't say we, Tony. Come on, man.
What are you talking about?
You a Laker fan. Don't ever say we. Come on.
You should see me with the Jazz. I'm
Now,
playing a trumpet.
I do want to
fucking
make a
BB
remark
King.
about the Jazz. I do want to make a remark about the Jazz because I did give a lot of credit to Phoenix for being complete. And depth has been one of the reasons, in my opinion, that the Jazz have gotten as far as they have. And had the success they had this season. Look at that depth, the depth of that team. But look at the difference that Rudy Gobert makes when he's on and off the court as well. But when you have guys like Joe Ingles, Jordan Clarkson, Bogdanovich, all these other, role players, that is also a very scary, complete team. That's why I think it's going to come down to Jazz Suns. But I do want to give a lot of love to the Jazz because everybody has been calling them frauds. Everybody. And they are up 2-1 on the Clippers, on the cusp of a berth in the Western Conference Finals. They got to get their love and respect too. So, Tony, I feel you on giving Utah a little bit of love.
And also,
I would say this about
and they're
Utah,
doing this without Mike Conley. That's another point.
Yeah, that is big. But I feel like without, they're all what they can be with Donovan Mitchell. Like, don't you feel like they're Donovan Mitchell away from losing a playoff series and winning a playoff series?
Without Mike Conley, yes. But with Mike Conley, Donovan Mitchell's game changes and he has more of an ability to take over. Even though he's been incredible without him. With him, Mike Conley opens up a lot more for Donovan Mitchell, for sure.
And I would say this, I mean, we haven't really seen it. We only seen it, game 1, really, of the Memphis series when Donovan Mitchell was out. But, I seen that with the Suns. I seen how that team responds when their leader went down. And their leader was down for the count. Devin Booker showed up and balled out. Who's that guy for the Jazz when Donovan
when you're talking about game 2 when CP3 went down?
Well,
Devin Booker was bad. Go rewatch
that was game 1 that CP3 went down.
Yeah, game 1.
So game 2, he's got the freaking copper fit straps all over his arm or whatever it is. Devin Booker was not good in game 2 in Phoenix when the Lakers won.
Well, whether it was Devin Booker or the Suns as a collective, they still came, that's where the Lakers would typically, a LeBron-led team will step on the opponent's throat and take advantage of it. And they didn't miss a beat. Jay Crowder was still all these others, whether it was Devin Booker or not, they came out and they played. Who's that guy for the Jazz when Donovan Mitchell goes out? Is it Mike Conley? Is it you damn sure? It's damn sure not Rudy Gobert. Maybe a guy like Bogdanovich.
It's
Bogey. Who is it?
There's no. That's why I compare them to the 04 Pistons. There's nobody on that Jazz team that is behind him as the number 2 because they really are a team that thrives together. The Jazz haven't even played in this Clippers series a good game yet. The Clippers could have won either one of those games in Utah if they weren't the Clippers, people. They blew leads. They had leads in the fourth quarter of both of those games. And just the team defense and the way that the Jazz play basketball was enough to get them over the top. But they need guys like Royce O'Neal, Bogdanovich, whatever. They need to play my twin brother, George Niang. They need to play that dude a lot less. He looks like
a lot less. He's a walking turnover.
Never.
That dude is a walking turnover. I can't believe he was actually seeing meaningful minutes last night. No matter what, that man should be off the court. He's just, at least this season, give him another offseason to recover, do his thing, regroup. But he's been awful the last few times he's been out on the floor.
Yeah, he's not making shots and he's turning the ball over. I will just say this, that series changed the first round, the Suns-Lakers series changed with the Anthony Davis injury. I'm not saying the Lakers would have won for sure, but when you're at home up 2-1 and then Anthony Davis gets a groin injury and now all of a sudden this guy's gone, that series goes a different way.
He was struggling considerably before that groin injury, though.
It's not
the knee injury. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean,
Was he
I would say
struggling in the box score? Or was he just struggling with his health? Because he's always struggling with his health. Are you talking about struggling with the box score, or talking about struggling with health? Because health is always that's just Anthony Davis.
I don't think the Lakers were fit to do it, though. I think we kept on having this illusion of last year, and me included, like just saying like these guys are going to show up, but the others just didn't. They weren't ready. Like the team just wasn't constructed right. Like a big part of that was like Dennis Schroeder. Like Dennis Schroeder, when he's on, he's great. He's great. Like you can consider him one of the best point guards in the league at his best. But you know why he's not? Because he is super inconsistent. Sometimes when he's on the floor, you're like, is this dude even playing? Like, did Dennis Schroeder play tonight? I believe he had 0 points in a game 5, I believe, for the Lakers. And it's like, it was terrible, man. So like the others for the Lakers, I think at the end of the day, even with Anthony Davis healthy or 50%, whatever the case is, him playing on the court, I think the aftermath of it, the Suns were just a better team, bro. Okay, and they just
Game 2, Lakers win 109-102. Anthony Davis 34-10.
Yeah.
Okay, hang on a second. I don't know this off the top of my head. I'm not going to pretend like I do. We go to game 3. Let's see. Anthony Davis at home, 34-11. The Lakers win 109-95. Now we go to game 4. Anthony Davis gets hurt. Lakers lose 100-92 in a game that he gets hurt in. Anthony Davis exits after 19 minutes of play with only 6 points. It's like that's the series. Like they were winning, and it was fully turning in their favor. The series was fully going in the Lakers' favor, and Anthony Davis gets injured. Now, I will say this. I am with you. This is a blessing in disguise because the Lakers needed an extended rest for a better run, because I don't believe they would have gotten past the Jazz, and I don't believe they would have beaten whoever comes out of the East, because none of those teams will have tried to turn around the season on such a short schedule. But
a lot of variables.
So many variables, and I am just hoping that the Nuggets can do what they did last year, down 1-3. How magnificent would it be? Where are all my Nugget fans at right now? Where are all my gold miners in the greater Denver area right now? Come on, 4 straight wins? This can be done, people.
Stop telling them. Stop lying to the audience.
This could happen.
Tony,
you
stop.
Got the MVP right there.
Look, are you on the same boat as Max, man? Because Max, I mean, he hates the Suns. Okay, he can't stand them. He doesn't care how good they do. He can't stand Devin Booker of what he did against the Lakers, that dirty play that he had. So he's just holding that grudge. I wouldn't say this. He's not yelling overrated with you. He knows that Devin Booker is very good, and he would never say that. But it seems like you're on the same boat, bro. You got that Laker passion in you. I love it. You want to see the Suns burn.
I do. I want to see this star burn out, shoot across the sky. But let me ask you this, because we shout overrated for Paul George. Why can't I shout
He is overrated, though.
Oh, but Devin Booker is like all of a sudden now.
I mean, come on. Has Devin Booker had a playoff series like Paul George? Tony, come on.
I don't know. I don't want to defend Paul George either. Don't get me wrong. I'm not
Pandemic P, dog. Come on. You don't want to be on that side.
Joker hitting the free throw. We got 3:20 to play. It's 44-50. Phoenix Suns. Nuggets fans, let me hear you.
Even though Paul George probably had his best playoff game in a while the other day, he had a really good game. But
yesterday he was fantastic.
Yeah. Still though, Paul George, not a good look. Pandemic P.
I don't know. Devin Booker going to the hoop off the glass, and he misses. Cries about the foul, but gets up, running back down the court.
And I'm gonna say this. So are you on the side of like Devin Booker? Like that was dirty. Like that was dirty by him.
Which play? Thank you, Joe.
When he pushed Schroeder. and he got the flagrant, and he got kicked out with Jay Crowder in that game.
Here's the thing. There's shitty plays that are done by, like, I don't know, like, you remember playing sports, like there was this young kids who like couldn't get the best of you in a situation. They just do dirty shit. Like I got punched in the nuts by a kid playing football because I was dominating him the whole time. And then at some point he just got frustrated. And hockey, I caught a butt end to the rib cage from another kid that I was just I had like 7 points in a game. And all of a sudden at the end, I'm pissing blood because some kid took the end of his hockey stick, skates by me and just gives me a quick jab to my kidneys. It's like you play with people who do irrational stuff because things aren't going their way. I get it. Devin Booker's great. I'm all for giving him all the love in the world. We got a 4-point game with 2 minutes to play, and I'm not giving up on the Nuggets just yet.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Me and Max were talking about that. There's nothing wrong with hating a player. There really isn't. Like, just having some haterade. This as long as you acknowledge, like you just did right now. Like, you know what? He's like, I know he's good, but you know what? Like, F him. I don't like him. Yeah. He beat my team. That's what sports is all about, guys. And just because, you know, you're talking bad about a player or having some haterade on him, there's nothing wrong with that. Don't take it out of context and, you know, make it a big deal. Because automatically when you say that, I think a lot of people are like, bro, come on, you're crazy. Devin Booker is amazing. It's like, no, it's like kind of people who hate on Tom Brady. It's like, yeah, I know he's good. I know he wins every year almost. Yeah, but forget him. Like, I don't like Tom Brady.
I'm the vice president of the Tom Brady hater club.
Like, exactly. It's like, come on. But like I tell Max, bro, don't you get fatigued? Like, you don't get fatigued, bro?
I don't. It fuels. It's like shoveling furnace into the fire for me. I really enjoy it. The MVP just stroking a big three from the top of the key. Crowder all of a sudden finding his stroke. Just moving the ball so well. Crowder, goodness.
And I just think like with all the stuff that went down with the Lakers and Suns, because, you know, there was some bad blood there. You know, Crowder trying to punk LeBron and trash Andre Drummond, because that's what I refuse to call him by his full name and not involve trash in it, because he is. You know, with the little body thing mimicking LeBron, and like the Lakers got punched, bro. Like they were talking all that shit and they got punched in the mouth, bro. Like, to me though, like I feel like 99% of NBA players are like that. You know, like when they're on top, they talk all that crap, and when they're losing, they're sore losers. Like, you know what I mean?
Here's how I liken it to this. When you're younger and you go into a bar and you got your tough friends with you, you feel a little bit better.
That's Andre Drummond, by the way, but continue.
A close-up shot of Andre Drummond currently looking at the Lakers roster. When you go in, you feel like you don't care. Somebody bumps into you. It's like, what's your problem? You know, like you talk to anybody you want, you do whatever. The Lakers entered Game 4 with that mentality, and then all of a sudden they turned around and their big tough war. He suffered a groin injury getting his ID checked at the door, and he wasn't in the club with you, and all of a sudden you get stomped out inside the club because that's the thing. Is injuries are a part of it. We're seeing it in the Nets series with, I mean, the Nets should have been up 3-0. Like, if it wasn't for Bruce Brown forgetting who was on his team and trying to make a bunch of shots in the end of the game, Bruce Brown, homie, you're playing with the Slim Reaper and Uncle Drew. I do not want to see you taking that many shots at the end of the game. Like, that's not how it works. But injuries are a part. Now, all of a sudden, it looks like the Bucks could rattle off 4 straight, and now everybody's going to be like, finally, this is Giannis. We knew he could do it, because the media controls all the narratives, and they swoop everybody's, because there's so many things to watch that people don't have. Yes, Bruce Brown, who's a good basketball player. Don't get me wrong. He's fine. He's a good player. Thank you. Joe's hitting all my favorite memes right now. he shouldn't be shooting those shots at the end of the game.
Oh yeah, yeah.
KD should be taking those shots. That's how.
Look, and before this Kyrie injury, I mean, the Bucks were coming out to play, like they were playing hard, but like you look at that game 3, and like the Bucks were playing as hard as they can, and I didn't even feel like the Nets played particularly well, and they were still in it, and that's just dangerous, bro. Like it's crazy that they were still a shot away from winning that game. Giannis MVP, that's a flawed MVP, if I say.
Yeah,
He's great. I mean, he's great, but it shows up in the playoffs. It shows up. I mean, for him in this series, it's already showing up. But like a guy like Ben Simmons too, like all those things just wind up getting amped up in the playoffs because the court winds up shrinking, and the guys who can't shoot, it's just like, what are you doing out there, bro? Like,
well, you also start like here's the other thing that nobody ever talks about in the playoffs. As the series continue, you start playing 7 games against playoff caliber, like they're it's in the playoffs. You're playing championship level teams back-to-back nights, presumably with good coaches that can make adjustments from game to game to throw you off. Like that is why if you don't have versatility in your game, you become a lesser player in the postseason. And not necessarily that your numbers will be less, but your impact on a game. So you can go for 40 and 20 and 8 assists against the Charlotte Hornets. But when you're then playing the Miami Heat for the 5th time in 6 days, it's a lot tougher because they're already in your head. They are already renting space inside of in between your ears, and there's nothing you can do about it. And you're getting knocked out in 5 rounds. And the one game you do miss, my boy Chris Middleton goes off, and he's the star for the one game. So anybody who's listened to me enough knows that I think Chris Middleton is the best player in the Milwaukee Bucks.
really?
Hell yeah.
I just think Giannis is flawed, man. It's kind of I was on shout out to Ryan Jones for Raw Mind Sports. I did a little conversation with him on Friday, and we are talking about Giannis. And with Giannis, man, it's like he doesn't really have a go-to move besides going to the rim and being bigger than everyone. Like the next step in his game, you kind of seen it today on why they were succeeding. Like, get your ass down to the low post, to the low block, and post up. Like, stop dribbling with the ball and, develop a post game, because that's the next step. It's not being a shooter. You're not going to become a JJ Redick or Klay Thompson overnight. You're not going to do it. I think this is the best he's going to be at 3-point shooting. He's capped out in that category. But low post game, there's no reason why you should be that long, that strong, and not be a good post-up player. And it's going to take time, because as crazy as it sounds, he has a lot of room to grow. And I know that's crazy to think, because the guy's already won back-to-back MVPs, but it's true. Like, get your ass in the gym, go ahead and go get some lessons by Hakeem Olajuwon, go to the post-game school, and even LeBron, like, go take some tips from LeBron. There was a point in time where LeBron developed some low post game to his work, and it helps you out, man, because 1, it slows down the game, and 2, it lets you see the court from a whole another perspective than when you're when you're dribbling with the ball, than when you're in the low post. Like, you can just kill a team. Like, you see how Jokic picks apart a teams at time when he's getting doubled in the low post, because it's just that dangerous. Like, that's the next step that Giannis needs to take.
Nope, I agree with you. Every great player has maturation to their game, right? We see it with Kobe, we see it with whatever. I see Joe Morley. I'm not sure if he's waving to me or hushing people in the background of his own personal life, but I will continue on my rant about this. That, like, we saw it with Kobe Bryant, even towards the end of his career. Kobe started pump faking like it looked like it was skipping. It was like a CD from the 90s. It was like, what? And you're like, what is going on? But then on the 8th pump, he would then make that shot. Jordan added the pump fake to his game. At some point, the athleticism goes, and you have to have another tool to continue the greatness. At some point soon, Giannis is not going to be able to play the same way he's playing now, and there will be a precipitous drop if he does not add all of the things that you were just saying to his game, and that's fine. We've seen a lot of players that have great stints. It's extending the greatness of the stint is what I want to see from Giannis. I like Giannis. I picked the Bucks to win this series in 6 games. So it's like, I just want to see, I want to see players be great on the big stage. That's what I love about sports. I love watching. It's one of the reasons why Dame is my favorite player. That dude goes down in flames, but he's going to go down jacking up shots from the parking lot. And I love that about him. I'd like to see him on a better team, but that's a whole nother can of worms that we could get into on another day. Joe, I want to, I don't know what's going on here, why I'm the only person on the screen. If I would have taken,
because you're so beautiful, bro. You're the beautiful host.
Down with Denver, let's go Suns. Everybody knows that we're going on a run. Down with Denver, let's go Suns. Everybody knows that we're going on a run.
Okay.
Wow.
All right. I'm taking that shit personally. Joe, let's get the scoreboard up here. Let's get it full screen. Juan, let's take a little break. I'll remove us from the screen in a moment. We got a 63-55 win. I believe that they can find a way to eke this out. It's going to need to be Gordon and MPJ, Michael Porter Jr. We'll keep this up. We'll be back for the second half of this game, and let's say what, like 10 minutes?
Yeah, I'll be back in a bit, but I'll for sure I'll give you guys a little visit a little bit later.
Appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
Yep.
Down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 1
Oh, what is going on, everybody? Here we go. Starting the second half. The possible final 24 minutes of the Denver Nuggets season. Nice cut to the basket by Will Barton. Good look by Gordon. You'd like to think that the Gordon pickup would have provided a little more of a dividend, especially with Jamal Murray going down. And MPJ just has to have a big second half. There it is. Getting the missed three by Crowder and then get out and run. MPJ pulling up, stroking it. 63-65. But Monty Williams on the sideline, still just looking like a super cool cat. And of course, Chris Paul, just calm, pulling up from the elbow all series long. Like, just how many times are we gonna let him read that book in a series? Like, you know where he wants to get. Stop him. But Will Barton at point guard, calm. We got a 4-point game early on in the third, and MPJ heat check, missed it, knocked out of bounds by Gordon. 10:06 to play. CP3 is just so cool, calm, and collected. Again, from the elbow, would somebody please pretend like you know what the guy's going to do? He's only been doing it for 16 years, for crying out loud. And we got a timeout from Michael Malone. As if Michael Malone may have just had a conversation in the 20-minute break that we all got to experience and said, hey, guys, Chris Paul at some point is going to take this game over and pull up for those little tiny baby jumpers that he constantly. Thank you, Joe. Thank you for putting that up. If you're new to the stream and you're just joining us, I'm a bitter Lakers fan, and I love the overrated meme. Yes, he is. Thank you, Nick Mack. He is the CP3 is the mid-range maestro. There's no question about it. I don't know if you know this, but I'm kind of a big deal. Santiago, Phoenix. What's another city? Scarsdale. Kind of a big deal down here in the Scarsdale area. Oh, we're on a commercial break. Michael Malone calling a timeout. Got a 6-point lead for the Suns. But the season, like, we called this the broom party for a reason, because the Suns looked pretty unstoppable in 3 straight games. So what's going to change in game 4? Not much. I'm not even sure of what the stats are. I could look them up, what the stats are of the Joker at this point, but he's not getting the 50-point game that I projected that he might have. The game that he would need to continue the series, kind of like what we saw with Jason Tatum against the Nets. Like, that was the only way the Celtics were winning a game in round 1. They needed a 50 piece from Jason Tatum. The best young player under 25, in case you guys saw that thing that came out. He should have been at number 1. I'm okay with Luka, I get it. But Tatum should have been at number 1. He's number 1 on my list. Let's see if I can pull up the stats here for Joker in this game. Nuggets. You type in Nuggets on Google right now, and it's just Chris Paul and Devin Booker just popping nuggets into their mouth. Just like, that's what's happening right now. They're just eating. Here we go. 7 for 13. Can we put that back up? How am I supposed to read it, though? You know I can't read in general. 7 for 13. 1 of 4. I'm assuming that's 1 of 4 from 3 for 11 points. Just not the start you wanted for the second half of a game where your season's on the line. Basically, that's it. Like, you wanted to come out, hit some shots, get some turnovers, and that's not the case. And now your coach has to call an early timeout. Like, at some point, other guys have to just, there it is, 11 rebounds. 18 points, 4 assists. Like, what more can he do? 18, 11, and 4 from the MVP. That's which is a great game. But he's going to have to pour in another 25 points for Denver to have a chance. But I mean, look at this. Chris Paul is getting a pick at half court and then just running to a wide open spot inside of the key and just pulling up and lacing 2 points on him. You don't need, and that's the thing, you don't need to be taking crazy threes. Will Barton trying to make something happen? He does. The patent tip by Joker goes awry. Booker leading the fast break the other way. Inside, nobody covering Ayton for an easy deuce. 73-61. Suns continuing to pour it on. Nuggets just out here getting sunburnt. Can we put a little SPF on this situation? Something to stop the burn that the Suns are just continuing to lay on. Will Barton coming back off of what I believe was like a bulky hamstring or whatever, putting up some shots. And CP3 looking like he's playing a pickup game at the YMCA. Getting the ball wherever he wants to Ayton on the floater. It missed. Nuggets pushing it the other way. Barton. No challenge. Flush. 71-65. Suns, 8:37 left in the third quarter. I know I'm a little bit ahead of the thing here. I can't slow it down. I don't know how to pause my TV. Finally, there we go. Chris Paul with a bad turnover. I know I'm not supposed to be a biased, sort of commentator or host or whatever's going on, but this is a fan live stream, and I'm cheering for the Nuggets. So when CP3 throws the ball to nobody, I'm cheering. That's just how it's going down. Trying to work a pick and roll at the top, nothing doing. Joker putting the moves on in slow motion. Slow motion for me. Slow motion for me. That's one of the great hip hop and R&B songs said. Fantasy shot caller signed back in. The reason Monty Williams didn't win Coach of the Year is because he's the second best coach to Chris Paul. We got a turnover to the Nuggets and MPJ pulling up and stroking a three. We got a 1-point game with 7:44, and some dude rocking a giant chain around his neck is losing his mind with the Denver Nuggets. And we all know how wearing chains and Nuggets works out, as we saw that fan take a real whooping the other night by holding onto the chains. And again, Chris Paul comes back and says, well, let me just give you a little dose of this medicine. There it is. Just like I said, you go to the internet and it's Chris Paul just snacking on Nuggets right now. We get Will Barton trying to do too much. Turnover the other way. Devin Booker on a fast break with a flush. Close up of some Phoenix Suns fans. Blah! Give me a break. 75-70. They've now pushed the score. 6:54 to go. Joker doing his best. Working a little pick and roll. Nice defense by Porter, trying to be aggressive. But, yeah, Joker working his magic, getting one to fall. CP3 really is just amazing. Again with that. Oh my goodness. He's just handing out buckets. Who wants it? Got 18 points midway through the third quarter. And just every point for the Nuggets looks like a struggle right now. It's just a constant. It's just nothing's coming easy. Even when they do get an easy one, CP3 finds a way to make it easier. That's the genius. That's the greatness showing of Chris Paul, of how easy he can make it. Because the game isn't really that tense for the Suns right now because they have a 3-0 lead. So they can play a little bit freer. Every shot feels like the game. There's buckets everywhere. Just buckets. CP3 faking the pick and roll, pulling up again. CP3 has 10 points, and they're all from the same elbow. They're all from the same. Like, if you put together a highlight reel of the 10 points that he has in the first 6.5 minutes of this quarter, you might not be able to tell the difference between them. Will Barton does answer back with a much-needed three. Oh, and a bad turnover forced by the Nuggets. Chris Paul just toying with them. Like, he might as well, like, CP3 is like a yo-yo. Like, I'm pissed off. I'm sorry. I'm frustrated. This is tough to watch for somebody who's cheering so vigorously against the Suns right now. 10 points already in this corner. And every shot has just come from the elbow. As if you don't know that's what he's going to do. I feel like as fans, we know exactly what he's going to do, and they're just letting him get to the same exact spot. And then there's a triple team on the Joker in there. Like, let's just pretend we want to force it out of his hands. Another one. Oh, my goodness. CP3 turning into DJ Khaled out here. Hitting him with, yep. Ba-na-na-na-na-na. Going back to the old NES system right here. Suns just chasing down the Nuggets. And Will Barton trying to do everything he can. Comes up short on a 3. Loose ball foul. Obviously CP3 pretending like it hurts more than it does because that's the new thing in the NBA that we do now. Everybody pretends like every foul is a flagrant foul to see if they can get some cheap free throws out of it. And nobody's smarter than CP3. 6-point lead for the Phoenix Suns with 4:28 to play. CP3 is going out. And there hasn't been much of a break for campaign. And now we got Booker throwing up lobs. Oh, my goodness. And they're doing close-ups to the guy who looks like he's from the video of the triple rainbow, made famous on the double rainbow, whatever it was on YouTube. Grizzly Adams. Nice beard. Joker working, taking a little contact from Ayton, but no call. Why would there be a call? Joker comes down frustrated. That's a frustration slap. And now Booker's getting in his face, and the Joker has something to say. We got a little bit of a fracas, ladies and gentlemen, with the Joker and Booker. Neither one of these guys wants any smoke. Just yelling at each other. Booker sticking up for his teammate because that was, and he is going to get a flagrant. He came down on the face of Campaign, and Campaign looks like he's in real pain. So we're going to see the replay in a second and see if maybe he really did make contact with the bridge of his nose. And maybe there's something real going on here. I hope it's not a situation where the Joker gets ejected. Here's the replay. Oh, damn. Did he make contact? I don't know. Was that Leon Spinks and Muhammad Ali right there? Oh, no. That's real. That's real. That's an entire MVP arm across the face of Campaign. But it's definitely going to be a flagrant foul. Flagrant foul. Sorry. Not a drink. Campaign looks upset, but not in any real pain. The Joker and his bag of tricks. That was not a bag of tricks. That was a bag of nasty right there. That's definitely got to be a flagrant foul. You cannot come down like that on somebody's face. It is, Reg. It is a frustration foul. Although the more angles they show it from, I don't know. I'm curious. Anybody watching this? It's clearly just more of this. And then Booker getting in his face. And Joker. Joe gets pushing him back and everybody getting in. And the Suns are like, hey, we're just trying to get our brooms out. We don't really want any bit of a fight here. Bridges, like, back off. And you don't send Devin Booker into a fight. These two laser-focused, stars in their eyes, thoughts of an NBA championship with LeBron out of the way, seemingly the Nets out of the way. Yes, Devin Booker looking for a fight is overrated. That's not happening, which is fine. But I will say this. I have very few nice things to say about Devin Booker, but I really do like the idea that he would go stand up for his teammate. And he would go get in his face and at least ask him, like, bro, what's going on? Why are you doing that? I get it that you're about to get dealt a shit hand. You're about to get swept from the NBA playoffs in the second round after being handed a trophy at MVP. But we could just be that good. Is that something that you could handle? And he can't. This is another thing too. Like, is it a flagrant? Is it not a flagrant? Do we need to take several minutes to see? We had the wind up. He made contact with the dude's face. it's by rule, it's a flagrant foul. Let's just move on and see if this either motivates the Nuggets or the Suns or whatever happens. If anything, I think that smacking Campaign is in the face is not what you want. It's not a beast you want to wake up, because Campaign has been giving him the business. Everybody who wants. He did it to the Lakers in the first round. It was Campaign in my ass is what it was in the first round. Playing great. They just kept going, oh, Reg, do you remember 6 months ago this man was playing in China and now he's scoring 25 on the Lakers? I'm like, what? You kidding? Campaign, a guy I had never even heard of before, is scoring 20 plus points in a playoff game in Los Angeles. He's still acting, though. This is the part where it's like, you already did your part. You got the referees. Oh, what? Sweep. Brooms are ready. He just announced the Joker. That's a flagrant penalty, too, for a windup, and he's been ejected by the game. We can end the stream right now because this is over. This is over. That was a flagrant 2 in a playoff game. Sorry. I got to hear this. I got to hear this explanation. What is this bullshit? In an elimination game, shakes his hand and exits the court. This is how the season will end for the MVP right here. On a flagrant 2, where he got him with like the fleshy part of his arm, apparently, but they saw a wind up in intent, and now Nikola Jokic has been booted from the game. Like, it was a bad foul, but an ejectable foul in an elimination game, this is it. This is how the season is going to end for the Nuggets. I cannot see a scenario in which the Suns don't ride this home with an 8-point lead, 3:52 to play in the third quarter. And so we got a technical shot. I'm assuming that was like on Booker, what I missed, whatever that was, but maybe that was on Booker. Come on, ref. That's not a flagrant 2. It's a foul. It's a frustration move. There's no intent to actually make contact with the guy's face. This is garbage. Like, there's not even, come on, he's got to have a little bit of blood or a black eye or something for it to be an ejection. We get a sweep. The Suns are going to finish off the sweep. Campaign steps to the line, makes both the free throws. It's now a 9-point lead for Phoenix with 3:52 to play and the basketball. And that's just deflating. Like, at the beginning of the foul, I thought like maybe there's some way that it could motivate the Nuggets to play. Oh, Campaign getting called for an offensive foul on a 3. I thought that was just a foul by Facundo, but it's not. They're calling Campaign for an offensive foul for kicking his legs out. Yes, that's right. The Joker's been eliminated. The MVP of the NBA has been eliminated. We got brooms up here. You can let these memes marinate a little bit, Joe. Because the Nuggets are fighting, but the most entertaining thing about this stream is going to be whatever you throw up there. Because I just can't imagine a world in which they let this go. Giving up offensive rebounds to Bridges. You can't give up second chance opportunities without your best player. Leading scorer, rebounder, everything. And now he's being the Joker is being filled in for by JaVale McGee right now. Facundo's in there for Jamal Murray. Like the two players that make this team the best, which make them a playoff team, are not on the floor right now. Playing a team that is just rolling on all cylinders. This is not a representation of what the Nuggets were this season or what they will be next season for the final 14 and a half minutes of basketball for the Denver Nuggets this year. Devin Booker on the drive, just showing off, showing what he can do. I was wrong. I thought the Nuggets would be able to extend this series, and clearly they will not be extending this series. Got JaVale McGee trying to set picks for Monte Morris. That's where we're at. Morris on the drive, trying to go high off the glass. It's not, and the Suns are in cruise control. Oh, like they're not even. Denver shook. Denver is absolutely shook at this point. Just coming down. Nobody in his way. And Bridges could have thrown it down because we saw earlier, Mikal Bridges, I forget who he dunked on, but Omi threw down on somebody. He just lays it in. That guy ain't really got to show off. We're up 91-78. And your best player is taking a shower right now for slapping our backup point guard in the face. That's what's happened. What an anticlimactic finish to this game. I would be curious if anybody else out there thinks that there is any shot whatsoever that the Nuggets have to win this game, because I can't see it. Boom, 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 boom. Grey Goose commercial. That's what I forgot to do at halftime, was refill my drink. I'm definitely going to need another drink to make it through this. This just turd fest that's going on. But I am, like, anybody jumping in here, is that a flagrant 2? Like, did no blood, no anything, like, I think it was just frustration. I mean, Campaign's not even going to have a black eye. Oh, full Sub-Zero on him. Finish him. Get over here. CP3 just snatching hearts right now. When healthy, looking like the best team. Because the first game of the first round for the Suns, they looked very good, very impressive at home. Fans back in arenas, places are going to be packed, things opening up everywhere. And Phoenix just hyped about having a shot. Now imagine that somehow the Clippers come back from down 0-2 for the second consecutive series, which has like never been done before. But let's say that they do it. Now they're getting a home court advantage against the Clippers in the next round. Phoenix Suns could be in the NBA Finals for the first time since what? Kevin Johnson and Charles Barkley were on the team. I'm pretty sure that those Steve Nash teams and Amari Stoudemire, they never went with D'Antoni. Again, the Nash-D'Antoni thing doesn't look like it's going to add up again with the injury to Kyrie Irving earlier today. And James Harden's still on the mend. Now you got KD and a bunch of other guys that essentially role players, bench players around KD, and that series looks like an uphill battle for the Nets. But who knows? We don't really know until we see who suits up, who gets treatment, who puts tape on, who gets out there. But 93-78 is the reality that we're looking at right now. Austin Rivers was on his coach, passing to Facundo. He's going to draw contact. They're saying that's before the shot. Facundo can't even get free throws. They're saying the foul was on the floor. So here we go. We got generic Ginobili off the top of the glass and JaVale McGee grabbing it, thundering it down. Campaign doing his impersonation, getting the ball to Devin Booker, and he's just doing work. Pulling up for three at the top. Off the front of the rim. Michael Porter Jr. needs to have the hottest final 13-plus minutes of his life. Coming off of a little screen from McGee, getting it over to Barton. Miss. 13-point lead for the Suns. I don't know who that was. Is that Saric? I don't know. Every time you fall down, do you have to look at the ref for a foul? Is that the new NBA? Is that what we're doing now? Yeah, late in rotation. That should be the headline of the series. The real MVPs. It was pretty dicey at this point, no matter what. But I do like this one. The Suns were probably going to win the game. No matter how much I was hating on the Suns, they were probably going to win regardless of whether or not they got it. Yeah, and a big reason because of this guy right here. Big smile on the face. MVP eliminated. Right there. We're now back to a 16-point lead after the 3 free throws are buried. And Chris Paul really doesn't need to come back in this game. Facundo for 3 off the screen. Yeah, you're right. He's already got his legs up. He's having the trainers take the tape off of his ankles. Devin Booker pulling up, but we got another offensive board by Cam Johnson. Cam Johnson's been really impressive. As I watched him in the first 6 games, and I've watched the majority of their last few playoff games. Cam Johnson's been a really nice piece to this Phoenix Suns run, and his play will need to continue where it's been for them to go to the NBA Finals. Oof. Porter Jr. coming up short on a 3 to end the third quarter. 96-83 Suns headed to the fourth quarter. Third quarter point differential. They just had a stat on the screen, the third quarter point differential. And they won every single third quarter that they could. Any person who comes into this stream, did you believe the Suns were for real prior to the Lakers series? And how far will the Suns go? And I'd particularly like to hear from a non-Suns fan of whether or not you think this is a team that can win an NBA championship. Just sound like a giant hawk in my front yard. The embodiment of Trae Young. Oh, we're about to get a Cliff Paul commercial. That's what's happening right now. Is the Suns could literally start Cliff Paul in the second half and still win this game. In this Argyle sweater and glasses, they could start Chris Paul. It would just be over. It's done. I'd just be so shocked. Yes, but not beating the Nuggets for Yes, but not beating the Nuggets 4-0. They're not? Wait, they are beating them 4-0, but you believed it before they were beating the Nuggets before they swept the Nuggets. You believe that the Suns were a championship playoff team.
Are you all right, Tony? Are you all right? Are you that mad right now that the Suns are moving on? They eliminated your Lakers. Now they're taking out the Nuggets, and they're moving on. You asked a question, and this guy said, yes, I believed in the Sun. He just didn't believe that they were going to sweep him. But bring out the broom, Tony. Bring it out.
Oh, I get it. Okay. Thank you for translating it to me. Hated by most.
Hated by most. Thanks for commenting. Sorry that Tony wasn't getting it. Tony is just so upset because he's so enraged with Phoenix Sun hate. So much hate inside that head, Tony. You got to let it go. Embrace the Suns. Look, I was talking about it earlier. There's no true NBA. There's no true fans of any of these teams left in the NBA playoffs. People are going to jump on bandwagons, and the Suns are the most favorite one. They haven't been in the playoffs for 11 years. Let them go. Let Chris Paul win his championship and be happy. Can't you just be happy for somebody, Tony?
Absolutely. With some distance from it, I can definitely be happy for CP3 winning a championship, but not right now. Like I can't watch the Suns without hoping that they lose. Because I kind of like Chris Paul. Like I think he's one of the best point guards, if not the best point guard of the last 20 years. But I'm not cheering. I just cannot cheer for the Suns. I just can't do it. I don't know. They're beating the Nuggets 4-0. Great. Fantastic.
Sweep is in motion, Tony. It's coming.
The brooms are out. Oh, not if my boy Facundo has anything to say about it. Hitting another 3. It's now 10 points to start the fourth quarter. Come on, Denver. Believe. Shock the world.
You got to start singing like the R. Kelly stuff. Get the secret stuff out. Let's go.
You talking about I Believe I Can Fly?
Yeah.
I believe I can fly.
Come on, Tony, don't sing the whole thing because YouTube will take us down.
I know, but I do believe the finals will be Suns Nets. Oh, hated by most. Hang on a second. You think the Nets, even after the Kyrie injury today and James Harden still not coming back, you think that KD and others can get past the Bucks? I'm curious. I honestly I do too, because the Bucks have not shown me enough to believe that they're going to beat it. Oh, and Chris Paul angrily slams the ball to the floor. Where's the technical foul? Everybody looking at the refs being like, hey, that's unsportsmanlike. Let's get a T. But of course, why would you throw a technical on the NBA player president who probably meets with the officials all the time and is like, hey, throw me a bone. I'll make sure you guys get a little extra bonus, a little extra per diem, a little travel pay. I'll talk to my guys in the front office because I'm the player president and I got it like that. Cam Johnson getting met at the rim, hard foul by McGee. Why don't we go and review that one for a flagrant 2?
You just once Joker left the game, you have been on a little downward spiral, like of hate.
Yes, of course I have.
The Bucks are overrated. No, the Bucks aren't overrated. There's only one person overrated, and Tony knows who that is. Booker's overrated.
Oh, it's so great. If the Suns do win, I am never going to hear the end of all the Booker hatred that I put out there. I will never hear the end of it. It's fine. And I'm the kind of person who will always admit my true feelings come for Devin Booker because they beat the Lakers, not because I truly think that he's overrated. Great young player. Fantastic. Can't wait to watch him play. I just hope he loses this year. Good ball movement by the Nuggets, trying to keep it close. Porter Jr. on the up and under, getting the foul, going to shoot a couple from the charity stripe. Michael Porter Jr. has the stage to have the biggest moment of his career. Why not? Have yourself a day, young man. Why not go for 20? First quarter, he had 0. Since then, he's had 13 points. Make it 14 as he knocks down the first free throw. It's a 10-point game with 10:38 to play. Just hypothetically speaking here, Michael Porter Jr. goes off for 20 in the fourth quarter. Nuggets victory, extend the series. The dream lives on another day.
Watching this is you, Tony. This is you right now.
I hate you. I hate you.
So I don't even know you, and I hate your guts.
I hate your guts. Yeah. Campaign for 3.
I'm going to nominate Tony Tucker for the Player Hater award this year because you're on fire. You're on fire.
Torrey Craig on the loose ball foul on JaVale. 9-point game, 10-21. Here come the Nuggets. Right here, Joe. This is, sometimes, maybe not because I don't think you're a big drinker. But in my younger days, I used to drink a lot. And the next day, you'd have to reheat some food that you couldn't quite finish. Passed out mid-meal. Right now,
yeah. When you say have extra food, never had that problem.
Reheat these nuggets right now.
Reheat these nuggets sound like a comeback. Like if somebody was talking about somebody. Reheat. Well, you can reheat these nuggets.
Reheat these nuggets. Oh, Will Barton on the up and under. 7-point game in CP3. I swear if they let him dribble to the right side of the court and pull up from that little elbow shot, I'm going to lose my... Well, he didn't go to the right side. He went to the left. Still did the same thing. Facundo doing everything he can, getting the ball to Porter Jr., pulling up for a corner 3. Splash! 6-point game. MPJ going nuts. Well, at least for the first couple shots of the fourth quarter. Chris Paul saying, I got it, everybody. Relax. Taking the pick. Aggressive pick set by Torrey Craig. His second bad foul in the last couple plays. And everybody in Denver is going nuts. 6-point game. Another turnover on the offensive foul. Poor screen set by Torrey Craig. It's going back the other way. Got a 6-point game, 9:18 to play. Saric to the bench, and they're bringing back in Mikal Bridges. Cam Johnson to the bench, and Ayton came back out onto the floor. Going big. Barton working the pick and roll again with that off the glass. The Suns are actually a very underrated basketball team. Defensive basketball team, I will say. I noticed that a lot watching the previous 6 games intently. And in that first round too, like I walked in game 6 when I realized the Lakers were just going to get like donkey punched again. I went out to the garage and I ended up walking like 6 miles on the treadmill. I walked for like 3 hours. No joke. Took a picture of it because I was just so angry. I didn't want to continue to freak out my family and friends that were in here. I just went out to the garage, put on the workout clothes, and just walked for 2.5 straight hours on the treadmill, cursing. Open corner 3. Gotta have it. Willie Barton making this exciting. 101-96. And Monty Williams says, you know what? Let's take a timeout. I think my team may be thinking the game was over after the Joker ejection, which, let's face it, we all do. I think we all thought it was over. But he's needing to call a timeout. Hotels.com commercial on right now. And I can tell you this, that the guy in charge of reservations for the Nuggets is like, yeah, we're probably not going to need hotels in Phoenix. We're probably not going to need them for a game 5. We don't need to use hotels.com. Although it is a 5-point game with 8:26 to play. It would just be fun. It'd be fun. It'd be interesting. It'd be something to talk about tomorrow on my live show. if the Nuggets can pull off this victory without the Joker. They're moving the ball nicely. They're not all looking to him to score, taking more initiative, being more aggressive. Will Barton's been more aggressive. MPJ's been more aggressive. Maybe it can continue. And maybe for once they can finally decide that they're going to force the ball out of Chris Paul's hands, prematurely. Booker hasn't shot in a while. I knew the Lakers weren't going to make it far. Let's get this comment on the screen, Joe. Oh, when they almost lost to my Warriors. Yeah. No, I'm not. I was very worried about that too. That was, we live streamed that game, Hated by Most, and I was cursing and swearing. I was also drinking quite a bit during that game. And I was done. I was like, there's no way. I can't. I can't do Laker games. I can't live stream Laker games and have like a rational thought in my head come out. Everything is just horrible anger towards what is happening when it's not going their way. And then LeBron hits the three, and that was the only thing that stopped me from just like having a complete and total meltdown. Was that moment. But yeah, but it's also like I was saying, that was kind of a blessing in disguise that they got knocked out, because they were not going far. They were not going to win the championship as they were playing. And maybe LeBron gets better and healthier, but I don't know if you really get in shape on the fly at age 36, coming off of being out of basketball shape for 6 weeks. Like, that's kind of an unrealistic thing to ask from somebody 18 seasons into their career. And really more like 23 seasons when you take in all of the playoff games that the man has played over the last 10 years.
Hey, boo-boo. Hey, boo-boo. Got a picnic basket, too. Hey, boo-boo.
All right. I hope that maybe they'll show us a little Michael Malone huddle, and they'll give the gems that he's like telling them. Come on, guys. We're the team that came back down 3-1 twice last year. Take out the Jazz, took out the Clippers, down 3-1. We fight like nobody else. Will Barton having himself a game, 19 points. They really needed him. Playing extended minutes last game and this one. And you just got to have, Rivers, that's a foul. You can't come off of a screen and be pulling on Devin Booker's like jersey and arm and everything. It's a foul. There's no need to have this conversation. Talking about what he did to you on another play. It's a foul. Oh, putting his arms behind his back. Yeah, there's better ways to defend the guy who's been cooking you. PJ with his stuff. Wait. Oh. Looks like he got called for a travel before that, but that was a nice defensive play by Michael Porter Jr. We got a turnover. Thank you, Pepperton. Appreciate you. Going through difficult times. Oh! Offensive rebound by JaVale McGee on the missed three from Michael Porter Jr. Okay. Sitting up in my chair. Stadium's rocking. Okay. JaVale McGee grabbing offensive boards. Getting fouled. Be nice if he could make a free throw. Missed a couple early on that had me going nuts. We'll see him. I know I'm not supposed to talk about my Lakers anymore, Pepperton, but was one of my favorite guys on last year's title team. Call that championship whatever you want. Still hanging banners for it. Oh, again, McGee on a missed free throw. Gotta be shitting me, bro. You can't miss free throws and you can't have bad turnovers. The frozen Nuggets at McDonald's put up a better fight before the Fryer than the Denver Nuggets did tonight. Pepperton always bringing the heat. And they're fighting right now. Gets the second one to go. We got a 4-point game with 8 minutes to go. They're showing Monty Morris working out something. Thigh contusion of some sorts. Got the ice around his knees. He could be done. He was good in game 3, game 2. I don't know. I'm losing track. I'm watching too much basketball. CP3, they finally decided to step up, and he's able to get the ball to Bridges, who works in nicely from the corner. Oh, and Chris Paul getting a technical foul. Okay. CP3's mad. Looks like he's got a hangnail. Said something about the ref's wife. But honestly, I think Kevin Durant can carry the Nets to the finals because they have a decent all-around team. This sounds like somebody who has some residual KD love who's a Warriors fan. Really? You think that's a good team around him? What's left of Blake Griffin? Green is limping around, barely able to come back. Joe Harris, hot and cold. I don't know, maybe. Maybe they're better than I give them credit for. I don't think it's a very good team around him. I did read a report, though, that if the Nets go to the finals, Spencer Dinwiddie could come back, which would be a really nice piece for them off the bench. Campazzo, air ball, but a rebound by Gordon, getting the ball to Barton on the floater. Nuggets are fighting. I'm not going to lie. When your MVP goes down and they're still showing fight like this, it's just too much. Bridges again cutting to the basket, getting an easy one. 8-point lead. Barton working inside CP3 on a reach foul. I missed that last comment. Oh, Nets suck too. Thank you, Pepperton. Appreciate it. Back me up. Oh, it was a foul on Bridges, apparently. My bad. Facundo at the top, waiting for a screen from McGee. Trying to work it, getting the ball at the free throw line to Gordon. Back to Campazzo. Oh, and Campazzo going between the legs, putting Booker on skates. Facundo getting his Sports Center highlight on. Devin Booker at the top saying, anything you can do, I can float better. I can float it better than anybody else off the glass. Coming back. 8-point lead. Gonna have to hit some threes. Aaron Gordon trying to work his magic with a little turnaround from the free throw line. Missed. 6 minutes to go. 8-point lead for the Suns. Booker with the ball being guarded by Facundo at half court. Oh, and Facundo goes for the steal and missed it. Booker taking his time, gets the lob to Ayton. Ayton elbows Facundo in the head, but surprisingly, when they grab the rebound, everything's fine and magical, and he's up the court. Gordon got the ball working. Crowder in the post off the glass. Looking around for an and one, because in today's NBA, anytime you make a tough shot, it's got to be an and one if there's somebody within arm's distance. Monty Williams, disappointed, not worried, just sort of like, come on, guys. Where's our energy? CP3 doing his patented underneath, looking for it, tries to get it to Ayton. Ooh, and a foul on the entry pass to Ayton. Whispers. Wouldn't it be over now? It's right? I don't know. I'm not a Star Wars person. I tried. Somebody help me out. How would Yoda say it's over now? He wouldn't say it's over now. He would say something else. CP3 inbounds to Ayton after the foul. It's a 6-point game. The Suns have the lead. CP3 gets the ball on a return. And one of his garbage swing through fouls. This is one of those things that it just drives me nuts. Everybody knows that CP3 is trying to get fouls as soon as you enter the bonus. Please don't give this person an opportunity to get to the free throw line and kill you. Jazz, I don't know. If it's Clippers Jazz, I don't even know. It ain't over till it's over. Yeah, but the big gal in Denver, she's doing warm-ups. She's doing her vocal linguistics. She's back there, like A-E-I-O-U. She's getting she's getting ready to sing. Let it rip from the rafters. Rocky Mountain High, Colorado. Nice little move from JaVale McGee to keep it at 6 with 5 to play. JaVale McGee actually playing better than I thought he would. He's just 1/16 of what the MVP is. So Bridges missed the 3, but gets his own miss. Out to Booker, setting up for 3, and he misses. Rebound by McGee. It's over now. Must have been love, but it's over now. Barton pulling up for 3. Oh, Booker gets a rebound. He's squinting. Not sure if it's sweat or somebody breathed in his direction, but he wants a flagrant foul now too. That might have been off McGee's foot. I would say this is a challenge. We need to see it again. Little controversy. Doesn't look like there's going to be a challenge. 4:28 to go. Nuggets ball down by 6. They need a bucket right here. They need a hoop. They need to stuff it through the peach basket. And JaVale McGee's like, get on my back. Porter Jr. with the offensive glass. Oh, and he can't put it back in. Is there anybody you want less on the floor right now than JaVale McGee saying, get on my back? Nope. Morris sucked it up, took the ice off his knees. He's back in there. I would have taken it from him. CP3 finally missing from the elbow. Nuggets still have a chance with 3:50 to play. Can we get it? A little bit, people. A little bit. Barton working his magic. Morris pulling up mid-range off the back iron. Whew. Rebound to Bridges. Dribbling it over. Ooh, just barely getting the timeout. Nice steal attempt from Michael Porter Jr. Let's see, getting caught up on these comments here from Hated by Most. Let me say, if the Bucks find a way to beat them, I highly doubt it, but the Sixers or Hawks can stop either of them. Huh. So then that means the Bucks would be in, right? Back in my day, you had to make somebody bleed to get a flagrant foul. Yes. No, that's true, Joe. That is true. I don't remember a lot of flagrant fouls when I was a kid. I don't remember. And I watched guys get ejected. Like if you swung on somebody, sure, you got ejected. I watched Chuck and Shaq go at it. I watched Charles Oakley throwing fists and elbows and stuff like that. Even Antonio Davis was another guy that used to bring some heat, but I don't remember like flagrant fouls. Oh, that's kind of rough. I really like Klay Thompson. It was a flagrant foul. Oh, we got a new Kevin Hart movie. A Kevin Hart movie with some heart, it looks like. Fatherhood. Coming to Netflix. Can't wait. My wife's a huge Kevin Hart fan. Huge Kevin Hart. Can always sneak it in. Couple underrated comedies. Modelo Especial. I could use a Modelo for this ridiculousness. Joker gets tossed, and all of a sudden the Nuggets start playing like they want to win. Like, where was this energy in the first quarter? Where was all of this desperation they seem to be playing with once the MVP goes? No, she wasn't ready. Oh, no. We got another comment in here from Hated by Most. Is falling their way. But I think the Hawks' ego will come back and bite them in the ass. The Sixers are just a better basketball team. Like, it's just not. When Joel Embiid is healthy, to me, he's one of the 3 best players in basketball. Like, when he's healthy, maybe KD also, when healthy, is somebody that I would want more. Like, he's right there at the top. Like, he's just so dominant. When the shot's not falling from outside, he can then go inside and dominate too. Like, Clint Capella is a very usable center in this league. He can't do anything with Embiid down low and away from the basket, and his ability to put the ball on the floor. Is Ken on the court? I feel like there's a joke coming. Is Ken on the floor? Ken on the court. As in, like, can you feel that sweep? Can you feel that victory? As in, is Ken on the court? Can we get a W? There's a joke coming here, people. I feel like I'm being set up for a joke. Either way, I appreciate the comment. It's all the same to me. 6-point game, 322. Got to have stops. And they just... What was that? CP3 puts on the afterburners, blows to the basket, and gets an and one. Somebody had to have missed an assignment right there. I'm trying to finish the riddle. Am I supposed to finish it? I feel like I read the question out loud. Is Ken on the court? And then you put, can this guy shut up? Can the Nuggets come back? Can we call the sweep? 9-point lead after the 3-point play by CP3, who's just got to be feeling better than he's ever felt, ever felt about getting to an NBA Finals, right? Like, let's talk about that in the final 9 minutes of this game as Will Barton turns the ball over, gets the ball to CP3 on a fast break, lays it in to push the lead to double digits. This game is over. There's actually loud cheering going on. No, just wondering if the player count is on the court. No, I don't believe there's anybody named Ken. Who is this? Bro, you mad? Remind me of Myra from the Dragon Show? Somebody, Joe, please put up a picture of who this is. Myra sounds like a girl's name, so you're clearly telling me that I'm pretty, which I'm not mad about that. I've gotten that a lot in my life. Eyelashes.
I just set you up, Tony, because here it comes right here.
You're what?
You're supposed to say Myra?
Yeah.
Yeah, I set you up for that one.
Joe, you messed me up. All this conversation messed me up. Get out of it. I don't need you in here. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. CP3 has to be feeling like this is the best opportunity he's ever had to make it to the NBA Finals. Because what stands in front of him is a Clippers team that clearly has trouble closing games, which is not the case for the Phoenix Suns. Not getting a lead or closing the games. But if they don't win and the Jazz win, where is the playoff pedigree? Where is the NBA Finals sort of roadblock for them? Now, I would pick the Jazz in the series, and not just because I clearly hate them. I have said the Jazz were the best team in the Western Conference since about week 4 or 5 in the NBA. You can go back and check anything there. Dunk that CP3. John Morant chiming in on Twitter saying, dunk that ball, CP3. I think CP3 could still dunk, but there's no need to dunk it when you're about to go up by double digits. But for the first time in his career, because the last and the best chance I think CP3 ever had was with the Rockets, where he then ended up getting injured in Game 6, and in Game 7, the Rockets lost. Michael Porter Jr., little thunderous dunk here. Will Barton on a steal and a foul. That's a good foul. Wrap him up. Don't let him get it off. That's a good foul. Smart play by Devin Booker. He's still a douche, but it's a good smart foul to wrap him up. Y'all forgot about Candace Impact this game. I'm going to keep reading them, but you have to finish the joke. Whoever puts these in, you have to finish the jokes, please. Yeah, Nuggets will come back. No, they won't. No, they won't. What are we going? This is what I hate about the NBA. How is this being reviewed for anything? He didn't wrap him up around the head or neck area. He made the smart play. Don't let him get the shot off. I do think the Jazz will win the series, but the Suns will beat them 4-2. Hated by most. I hope you come back more often to these lives. I like talking basketball with you. I disagree with you, but I like it. I like that you think the Suns 4-2 against the Jazz. That's fun. Difference of opinion. That's good. Why? What's the difference? Just CP3 and not enough playoff experience? Genty, what about me? Genty, you haven't offered me anything basketball conversation-wise. You just keep leaving me these vague jokes. And you don't have to offer me that, but then you got to finish the damn joke if you're going to present it. But hated by most is actually in here talking basketball. I don't know who's going to win this other series. I am excited for Game 4 because the Clippers have a real shot to then put the pressure on Utah if they were to tie it. And we get to see what Utah is really made of. Because going back to Utah for Game 4, we'll get to see if that team is for real or not. Because I would not like them going and losing potentially 4 games in a row. Both free throws made, 7-point game, 2 minutes to play. Doesn't really seem to matter. CP3 putting up one finger, basically saying, I'm just going to dribble this ball to the right. I'm going to fake the pass. I'm going to pull up and hit the bunny from the free throw line. We all saw that coming. We got a steal by Devin Booker. And then he misses. They get another offensive rebound. Bridges feeds Ayton, Ayton hasn't been popping off your screen, but he's been tremendous. And I look forward to see if he can continue to be aggressive in the next series with Rudy Gobert. That would be an interesting matchup for me. Be fun to see Devin Booker and Donovan Mitchell going back and forth. Even older point guards. If Mike Conley can get healthy, I know he's not on the level of CP3, but he's had some good teams. People love CP3. I'd love to see CP3 win a championship. Remember all those good years that Mike Conley had with the Grizzlies? Why wouldn't people be happy for him? Because he doesn't have State Farm commercials? I'd be just as happy for Mike Conley. He seems like a good guy. Yowza, mate. We have an Australian on our hands. The Suns just have the playoff fire in them right now. Okay, I see that. Sometimes teams get hot and get it rolling. Ultimately, though, hated by most, who do you have winning? Just right now. I think you said Nets Suns, but who would win in that series? Morris getting the easy deuce to Gordon, and the Nuggets are still fighting. I love to see this. Down by 7, and they're still out here just grinding away. Gordon guarding Booker at midcourt, 50 seconds to play, down by 7. and just shadowing him. Got to be careful, though. Booker misses the bunny, gets his own rebound, terrible rebounding, and puts it back up for 9 points with 30 seconds to go. This game is all but over. Morris on the up and under, 7 points. That's all, folks. Call coming in from the wife. Almost perfect timing on her part. Joe, what do you say we wrap this show up? This is done. I'm done. I've talked a lot. I think the Sixers are going to blow off the Hawks. Hawks got away with a first, but the Sixers figured out how to shut them down. Yeah. No, I agree with that too. I think Tobias Harris, I like the move of Shake Milton coming into the game, doing more. What's his Thibault? Hope I'm saying his name correctly. Has been nice and needs to continue that. Morris makes the three to make it a 5-point game with 21 seconds. Crowder has to call the timeout. Absolutely no quit by the Denver Nuggets in this game. But I do feel like we can throw up that Looney Tunes meme because I can't imagine with the way that this team can shoot free throws that there's anything left in this.
Down with Denver, let's go Suns. Everybody knows that we're going on a run. Down with Denver, let's go Suns. Everybody knows that we're going on a run.
Down with Denver, Good for you, Suns. Good for you. All right, Joe, what do we got to promote so we can get out of here? Anything? Live shows. You want to throw up some more memes as we go out? Just rattle off memes, and I'll just plug the network, and we'll just run through it.
No, I don't have any more memes. I'm done with those. Tomorrow, mock draft Monday.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Live with Tony Tucker. Welcome to the War Zone. We'll be on. We'll be back with Seven joining us. A lot of stuff going on, but nothing else that people don't know already. Make sure you guys help us reach our goal, 1,000 subscribers right here. How about that one?
Please.
Other than that, what you got?
Nothing. Joe, I appreciate you throwing stuff up.
One last score. Over. It's over.
Yes, sir. They got the ball in and fouled. Looks like CP3. I wasn't paying attention.
No, it was a good good live. A lot of people in here, a lot of interaction. Loved it. Good job, Tony. Good job. Somebody asked who I was. I'm behind the scene guy. See? Check it out. I'm too good looking to be on screen.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have nothing left. Nothing left to offer other than congratulations to the Suns. You're on to the next level. And
Suns going to win it all, Tony. They're going to win it all.
It looks like the Jazz and Clippers have a fight on their hands, and they basically ran through this tissue paper at a homecoming float. Like this was just absolute garbage. Absolute. The Joker foul, on shows and other people. I cannot wait to talk to other people about whether or not that was worth an ejection in the game. But it didn't really matter. Congratulations to the Suns. You guys are moving on. You brought out the brooms and you swept the MVP off of the floor in the hype train. Tomorrow, the Suns going to the NBA Finals hype train on every network, and CP3 will be at the top of. Is CP3 approaching, Isaiah Thomas and Magic Johnson? Look here are my dogs coming in, being like, "Get the out of here, bro! Get out! End this show already."
This show is done. Like the Nuggets season, it's over. It's 123-116 sweep, and it's done. We'll see you guys tomorrow?
Hell yeah! Hit that music, Joe.
Warning. Warning. Warning.
Get ready to rumble! step into the war zone.